Hello, guys. We are live from 7 to 8 p.m. on the Cold Hard Truth YouTube channel and the Sideline Sports YouTube channel. This is the Cold Hard Truth. You got Santino Maoni, Conor Armstrong, Peyton Marshall, Jacob Jarrett. The whole gang is here. Guys, our first live show. You ready to get into this?
Super duper.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing amazing. Got a nice 4 out of 5 from the Metsies this weekend and ready to roll. Here we go.
It's going to be a good one. We're going to hop into this straight away. So last episode, if you guys haven't seen it, we'll fill you in. We gave our NFL record and division predictions for the AFC and the NFC. In this episode, we're going to follow up and give our playoff predictions for the AFC and the NFC. Conor, I'm going to start with you. Give me your 3 wild card matchups, the 2 and the 7, the 3 and the 6, and the 4 and the 5.
All right, starting with the 4 and the 5, I have the 5-seeded Baltimore Ravens defeating the 4-seeded Indianapolis Colts in the first wild card round game. Number 2, the Bengals are the 3-seed against the 6-seeded Chargers. They're going to be beating them. And the 2-seeded Kansas City Chiefs over the 7 Denver Broncos.
All right, not bad, not bad. I'll give mine now. For the 4-5 matchup, I have the 4-seeded Indianapolis Colts against the 5-seeded Raiders. I have the Raiders beating them on the road, giving Derek Carr's first ever playoff win. For the 3-6 matchup, I have the 3-seeded Bills against the 6-seeded Ravens. I have the Bills dominating the Ravens in that game at home and moving on to the divisional round. And for the 2-7, it's a rematch of the AFC Championship game, the 2-seeded Bengals against the 7-seeded Chiefs. I have the Bengals beating Patrick Mahomes once again. Burrow knocks him out. No Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs go home in the wild card round. Peyton, what are your wild card matchups?
I have the 4-seeded Colts losing to the 5-seeded Chiefs. I have the 3-seeded Bengals winning against the 6-seeded Broncos. I have the 2-seeded Bills winning against the 7th-seeded Ravens.
Not bad. Jacob, what are yours?
I had, and Tino, you might not like this, but I had your boy Burrow losing the first round as a 10-7 7 seed against the Chargers as the 2 seed.
It's the Chargers, so I'll give you that. That's fine.
Fair.
Then I had the Ravens playing the Broncos in the 3-6, and I had the Ravens moving on. And then I had the Colts and Chiefs as the 4-5, in which the Colts would be the 4 due to divisional purposes, but I think they would lose to the Chiefs in that series, in that game.
All right. I don't think we really had any crazy takes. I think everybody that we would, mainly expect to move on would. I think one of Jacob's probably most interesting matchups is the Chargers and the Bengals. Hypothetically speaking on that, Jacob, what would you expect for a game like that with Herbert and Burrow going at each other, 2 2020 draft, guys from that 2020 draft class?
Well, I'll just add before I get into that as we talked about last show, I do believe that the Ravens will edge the Bengals in terms of regular seeding this year.
Yeah.
And win that division, I think, by a game or 2. But in that game, I don't think it'll be any, it'll be an absolute. I mean, I would love it if it happened, first off. Who wouldn't want to watch Herbert and Burrow in a playoff game? But I think just what tips the edge just a little bit is the additions that the Chargers made on defense. I think the Bengals are a really good team, as well as the Chargers. I think offensively, they can probably match up with them with their receivers, quarterback, all around. But I think the Chargers are just a little bit better defensively, and that would give the edge in what I would assume would be a pretty decently close and high-scoring game.
No, I would say the same thing. And Conor, I'm assuming do you have the Bengals winning the division or the Ravens?
I have the Bengals.
Okay, so how do you feel about Jacob's point of the Ravens winning that division? Because when he told me that on last episode after you ended up leaving, I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, no, I actually don't disagree with it because of my actual standings. I have them tied at 12-5, but the Bengals take both games from them during the regular season. So that's how they edge them out for, like playoff seeding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's really not a crazy take to have the Ravens winning division. I think that they're going to be neck and neck with the Bengals pretty much all year.
Because I had the Bengals at 14-3 record-wise, and Jacob thought that was absurd. I had them as a 2 seed going into the postseason, right ahead of the Bills. And Peyton, I know that last episode you kind of you kind of voiced the opinion of the Bengals are going to win the division. You don't think it's maybe not that it's going to be close, but you believe the Bengals will win it, no doubt, right?
I just don't see. I mean, Lamar's going to get his money, so he's not playing for a contract at this point. And I don't see how you could say that their roster has gotten better from last year. I'm a big fan of Kyle Hamilton, a massive fan. We'll talk about that later.
100%, yeah.
Like, I think he's a massive piece. I love Marlon Humphrey as well. But for me, I trust Burrow more in this division to come out with more wins. And I'm a big Lamar guy, but I don't see the Ravens beating out the Bengals this year in that division.
That's true. And they also lost Wink Martindale, their defensive coordinator, which while they do have a lot of talent in terms of the players on the defensive side of the ball, losing that great defensive mind does hurt them a little bit. But we're going to move on to the divisional round. I'll start. I have the Chargers at the 1 seed against the Raiders at the 5 seed, a little AFC West matchup in the divisional round. I have the Chargers winning that game handedly at home, going to the AFC Championship game. And then for the 2-3 matchup, I'm going to give a little, backstory for the regular season. Bengals, Bills, 2 versus the 3 in Cincinnati in the divisional round. In the regular season, I had the Bengals beating the Bills on the road towards the end of the season. I have the Bills getting their revenge here in the divisional round and beating the Bengals on the road in Cincy. And Josh Allen will face Herbert in the AFC Championship game. Conor, what about you?
I have the 5-seeded Ravens heading to Buffalo to play Josh Allen and the Bills, where they lose. And the Chiefs and Bengals playing each other 2-3, Cincinnati going into Kansas City, and Kansas City defeats the Bengals.
So Kansas City gets their revenge. I have the Bengals knocking them out in the wild card, but you think Mahomes will go back home in KC and knock them off this time?
Yes, sir. And then that sets up another Bills and Chiefs.
That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but honestly, I wouldn't be mad if we got to see that because we need to see Josh Allen get his redemption, especially with those new overtime rules in the playoffs. Because if we get another overtime game with Allen and Mahomes and we get to go in overtime, see both of them touch the ball, that'll just right all the wrongs that we saw from this past game. Peyton, what about you? Divisional round.
I have the 1-seeded Chargers facing off against the 5-seeded Chiefs, and I am taking Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to beat Justin Herbert in that overpowered Chargers offense and defense. And then my 2-3 is the Bills and the Bengals as well, and I'm sticking with Conor on this one. I think the Bills are going to get their revenge and make it to the AFC Championship again.
So you have a Bills-Chiefs rematch again in the AFC Championship?
Or Bills-Chiefs, sorry. Excuse me. Yes, Bills-Chiefs.
You have a Bills-Chiefs rematch. Jacob, what about you?
So based on my seeding, I would actually have that rematch going on in the divisional round between the Bills and the Chiefs, which I think the Bills get the revenge. I think all around, I just think this is the year of the Bills, which I'll extend on later for multiple other reasons. But I just think it's coming, and they're just so incredibly due. Every year, they just seem to mature, and I think it's got to give eventually. And I think this is the year, so I think they get past Mahomes and the Chiefs in that second round. And that would leave the Chargers to play the Ravens, which I had an extremely difficult time choosing in that scenario. The game would be in
LA, right?
It would be in LA based on seeding that I gave, and I would edge them just a little bit and have them go to play in Buffalo.
All right, so you have the Chargers so me and you both have Bills Chargers in the AFC Championship. Peyton and Conor both have Bills Chiefs. We all have Josh Allen making it, so we pray he does make it because at this point in his career, I feel like it's about time that he gets that opportunity, and I think he will make the most of the opportunity and get to the AFC Championship game. But for my AFC Championship prediction, we got Josh Allen against Herbert. Arguably, I think outside of Mahomes, they're the two best quarterbacks in the AFC talent-wise heading into next season. I would have to say the Buffalo Bills are going to knock them off in Los Angeles. I have the Chargers as the 1 seed. I think because the Chargers don't really seem to have that many fans come to even their home games, I think the Bills Mafia travels to LA. They're in the warm weather. They come over. They overtake SoFi Stadium, and the Bills go in there. Josh Allen knocks off Herbert, and he gets to his first Super Bowl. Conor, what do you think?
Josh Allen gets his revenge on the Kansas City Chiefs and plays in his first Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think it's kind of easy to say that at this point, but I'll see what Peyton and Jacob have to say. Peyton, you can go first.
I feel like it's time, and I completely agree. I think Allen's going to the Super Bowl this year. I think it's time for Diggs and Allen both to get their shot. I think their defense is good, and I think they're going to make it. The Chiefs, I think they're underrated, and I think people are overlooking Mahomes because of his lack of production last year, but we're still talking about Pat Mahomes.
And even Tyreek being gone, too, is part of it.
I'm a big Sky Moore guy. We can talk about that later, but I think Sky Moore is criminally underrated. He's not underrated by a lot of analysts, and I think even Juju being there is a huge addition. I forget the other receiver they added.
They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling from the Packers,
Which, again, with a great quarterback, those receivers can turn into top 10 guys pretty fast. I'm not saying top 10 overall talent-wise, but production-wise next year. I think the Chiefs are going to be a great team, but I still think Josh Allen, it's the Bills' time, and I think he'll edge it out close.
And I don't want to get off this topic too much. I won't say that MVS, he's not Tyreek Hill by any means, but he has that same kind of deep threat ability. We saw that with the Packers, how they utilized him. So MVS can be utilized in that kind of same respect with Patrick Mahomes and the arm talent he possesses.
Not to jump off topic as well, but we're talking about Juju with Ben noodle-armed Roethlisberger the past 2 years.
And he was hurt last year too.
I'm not a Juju guy. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Juju. Don't like his personality. personality. But in that offense with Pat Mahomes, it could be scary. And I would just say, watch out.
You're not a big TikTok guy. He makes a lot of TikToks, but
I don't like that. I don't like that.
He's talented as a wide receiver. But back to this topic, Jacob. You have the Bills Chargers. All three of us have Allen. Are you hopping on the Bills train? Bills Mafia? Are they getting to the Super Bowl this season?
Yeah, I mean, I had them at 14-3 and winning the AFC. And if that happens, they're going to host the game, and they're not going to lose that game at home. I think if they played that game in Buffalo 10 times, they'd win 8 or 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm led to believe that's what would happen. Like I said, I think this is just their year all around. So many guys waiting. Sean McDermott has transcended that organization immensely since stepping in, and he's been waiting a while for it. So
yeah,
I definitely think they'll be in the Super Bowl this year. If I had to predict, obviously these are specifically way too early predictions. It's August.
100%.
For now.
We have no idea what's going to happen. Again, with injuries, we don't know how things are going to be affected down the line, who's going to struggle, who's not. But these are, again, way too early playoff predictions. We all have the Bills coming out of the AFC. I have a feeling the NFC might be a little bit different, maybe split between some of us, but we'll see what happens. Going into the NFC, I'll give my wild card predictions. I have the Eagles at the 2 seed and the Niners at the 7 seed. I have the Eagles winning that game in Philly, heading to the divisional round. The 3-seeded Saints versus the 6-seeded Minnesota Vikings. I have an upset here. The Vikings have a history in the last, 5 years or so of beating the Saints in New Orleans in the postseason. I have Kirk going in there, getting to the divisional round. They knock off the Saints in New Orleans. I have the Packers and the Bucks. Packers as a 4 seed hosting the Bucks once again. Every year I've said the Packers are going to win. This is partly because I do think the Bucks will win, and partly because if I say they're going to lose, hopefully they'll win this season. The Buccaneers are going to beat the Packers in Lambeau again. As a 5 seed, they'll move on to the divisional round. Conor, what are your predictions?
All righty. Well, I got the 2-seeded Los Angeles Rams against the 7-seeded San Francisco 49ers, and the Rams beat them. Yep. Packers, the 3 seed, beating the Eagles, the 6 seed. And the Cowboys, the 4 seed, finally getting a win in the playoffs and beating the Vikings, the 5 seed.
So you have the Cowboys winning the division, the NFC East still.
Yeah.
That's not surprising. You're the only person that thinks that the Eagles are going to go 13-4 this year.
They're
maybe
not.
on this entire planet.
Okay, but
you might be the only person. I don't think the
10-7 for the Eagles.
Say that.
All right, fine. Record-wise, I'm probably crazy, but it's not crazy for me to say the Cowboys are not going to come close to this division. The Eagles could go 11-6. I don't see the Cowboys winning more than 9 games, maybe even 8. The Cowboys are not a good team this season. They lost a lot of pieces in the offseason. Ezekiel Elliott is not a good running back anymore. I know they have Pollard. I don't see the Cowboys as a good team going into next season. I just don't.
Ezekiel Elliott's not a good running back.
I don't think he is anymore.
Some offensive
rushing yards last season.
They lost some offensive linemen.
Listen, they lost offensive linemen. Randy Gregory. I know they still have Micah Parsons, but Gregory's gone.
Randy Gregory.
He produced turnovers last year, and he was a very good pass rusher specifically for them last year. They lost Amari Cooper. We don't know if CD can be a true wide receiver 1, be a dominant wide receiver 1. We don't know that. We haven't seen it yet. I've seen it. Brown be a 1 with the Titans. I've seen Devontae Smith grow in an Eagles offense. They still have probably the best offensive line in football, one of the best. Their defense, I'm not going to say it's the same as the Cowboys, but I wouldn't say it's that much worse than the Cowboys. I think Darius Slay as a coverage corner is better than Trayvon. I'm getting on a rant, but I just don't think the Cowboys will win the division. But
can I do my prediction? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm moving to wild card predictions.
I have the 2-seeded Packers beating the 7-seeded Vikings. I have the 3-seeded Eagles beating the 6-seeded Saints. Sorry, not Aints. And I have the 4-seeded Rams. I have the 4-seeded Rams losing to the 5-seeded Cowboys.
You have the Rams as a 4 seed. Wow.
Yeah, the Rams are. I don't know. I mean,
Super Bowl hangover. I can.
Yeah, not even like that. It's just like, why is Matt Stafford now like a top 5 guy to everybody? Like, I get he has
I haven't said that.
Tino, you ride Cooper Kupp's pine like nobody else I know. Come on now.
Last episode, you claimed that Justin Jefferson, Jacob, you were here for this.
Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp are in for a reception. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Why? Don't make me get into it. Those are my predictions. That's it.
Fine, Jacob. Wild card predictions. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first off, I can't get over the Eagles. I really can't.
Why?
I mean, you haven't a laugh.
I know. No.
Episode, so.
I can't get over the 13-4. That's the only thing I can.
Yeah, that's kind of
Give me your wild card.
Because for them to go 13-4, they have to go 6-0 in the division.
No, they don't.
Go 3-3. Yes, they literally do.
Yeah, they do.
They have to. Dude, do you understand the other teams? They have to play other teams besides the NFC East.
I understand, bro. But if we were gonna listen, we're not gonna get into our whole schedule predictions in this
I'm
episode.
sorry,
But if we did, listen,
I can't even think about my
wild card predictions. Forget about the Eagles. Forget about the Eagles. Wild card predictions. Go.
Well, I'll start by saying the Eagles aren't even in my playoff bracket.
That's
That's dope. Maybe you're right.
I love it.
All right.
Oh. He can't contain himself right now. It's hilarious. All right, go. Give me your wild card predictions.
Okay, so I'll just say that I had the Packers and Rams both going 13-4, but I had the Rams as the 1 seed because they have a head-to-head game that I think the Rams will win. So 13-4 each. So that leaves the Packers as the 2 seed, which in my bracket has them hosting the Vikings, one of their longtime rivals, obviously. I didn't have the Vikings last time, I will mention, being in the playoffs. Until I looked at their schedule, they have a fairly easy schedule. So I think they'll get in over a Cardinals-type team as that last seed. But I think the Packers handle them. Then my 3-6 was the Bucs and the Niners. I think the Bucs take care of it. And my 4-5, I had the Cowboys and Saints. And I like what Conor said. I really think the Cowboys can get one this year finally. But so I'll give them that win.
I don't see the Cowboys getting a playoff win this year. But Peyton, what were you going to say?
I just like so you trust Trey Lance, but you don't trust Jalen Hurts. You don't like Jalen Hurts at all. You don't think?
Well, I think the Niners can kind of replicate what they did with Jimmy a couple years ago. I mean, he was never that good, and they won a hell of a lot of games because of their defense and
Jimmy didn't turn the ball over though. He was
never
never that good. Yes,
I hear you.
But
right. The question is, can they give him the ability to manage a game better and handle the ball better? And I would say that it's probably easier to teach that than the amount of points that the Eagles are going to have to score to compensate for their horrid defense. Their defense is horrid.
I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad either.
I think it's a bottom 7.
It's definitely not 13. It's definitely not 13-4. It's definitely not 13-4.
A bottom 7 defense?
I think they're like
they're going to have to score 30 points a game.
That's true.
I mean, but with that offense, I feel like they could. But anyway, Conor, I want to ask you a question too, because you and Jacob both have the Cowboys beating the Saints in the wild card round.
Yeah, I did. No, I have them beating the Vikings actually.
Oh, sorry, the Vikings. But what about the Cowboys makes you think they're finally going to get a playoff win last year after what you saw from them not being able to call a play with 15 seconds on the clock?
Mike McCarthy's a new man. That's all I can say.
You're out of your mind.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I was going to say.
That was an awful joke.
I was joking. But no, but like
McCarthy's a idiot, dude. But anyway, say what you're gonna say.
I don't know. I just feel like the offense is finally just gonna step up in the playoffs. I feel like they haven't, which is why just like they haven't won any playoff games, and also their defense is solid. You know, they're like I know they're solid. You don't see the defense.
I do see the defense. I don't listen. Let's talk about recessions before I give my divisional predictions and we go into that section of the show. But talk about these recessions everyone's having. Trayvon Diggs is in for a recession. Trust me on that one.
No, he is. But he's
in for a huge. Secondary.
That's like thanks, Captain. Obviously, he's going to have less picks than he did last year.
But he's saying the defense is good. Outside of Trayvon, their secondary doesn't really have anybody. They have Micah Parsons, and then who else? Leighton Vander Esch. Like who do they have?
Yes,
they don't have
Vander Esch. Yeah, yes. I like him too. He's
Get
nice.
Out of here. All right, I'm going to go to my divisional predictions. I have the Rams coming as the 1 seed, having a better regular season than they did last year. I think they're going to up their talent with the players they added. So the Rams is the 1 seed versus the 6-seeded Vikings. I have the Rams knocking them off handily in LA. And then I have the 2-seeded Eagles against the 5-seeded Bucks. And believe it or not, I have the Bucks beating them on the road. Take it easy. I do not have the Eagles winning. I have Brady going into Philly and beating Jalen Hurts pretty handedly. And I have a Rams Buccaneers, another divisional rematch in the NFC Championship game. So Conor, what do you have?
I have the 1-seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady defeating the Dallas Cowboys at home.
Okay.
And then the 2-seeded Rams knocking off the Packers at home as well.
All right. So the Packers were a 3 seed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Bucks and Rams in the NFC Championship.
We got the same one there. Peyton, what do you have?
I have the 1-seeded Bucks, as Conor does. A smart man. Beating the 5-seeded Cowboys, as Conor does.
Same thing.
And then I have the 2-seeded Packers beating the 3-seeded Eagles.
Wow, Packers back. So a rematch of the 2020 NFC or 2021 NFC Championship game.
Come on now.
But this time we're in Florida, not Lambeau.
Jacob, why the face?
Yeah.
No, who did you have the Eagles beat in the first round? I'm just curious.
The Saints.
Okay, I forgot.
The
Are you
Aints.
mad? If you're mad, yeah, the Aints. Are you
No,
mad
I'm
about
not
that?
mad at that.
The Aints,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I'm not mad about that.
I honestly don't know
Jacob.
why I have the Saints making it into the playoffs. Jameis Winston is a bum.
Dude, they're a 13 and they're a 14 and 3
The
seed.
NFC
Or sorry,
is
13 and 4
horrific.
3 seed. They're going to be a 13 and 4 3 seed, buddy. What are you talking about? They're phenomenal.
I love how much you trust Jameis Winston.
Bro, I have the Eagles and the Saints both going 13 and 4 and getting a 2-3 seed. Jacob, you heard these last episode. Why are
Who
you
gave
like,
us a damn show with this kid, man?
Dude, who are you? Bro,
13
you heard
and 4
for the Saints and the Eagles, you heard this last episode. Why are you shocked?
It's just the level of like they'd have to win so much. Like, do you
Dude,
know how
the
many?
Saints are they're the most underrated team headed into next season, guys. No one's talking about them. They're a
Okay, but
phenomenal team.
Tino, let me explain something to you. If they were to go 13 and 4, right? So let's just be really generous and say they
All
went 4 and 2 in the division. And I think that's extremely generous.
No,
we could even,
That's not that generous.
they're going to beat the
5 and
Panthers.
1.
They're going to beat the
Okay,
Buccaneers
okay.
both times. You know that. The Bucs don't beat them in the regular
What?
season.
Stop capping, bro.
The Bucs
Stop.
don't beat them in the
Tino,
regular season.
stop.
What are you
Tino,
talking
gotta
about?
chill, bro. You gotta
Dude, have
chill.
you seen the All right, listen. The Bucs don't beat them in the regular season. We've seen this. What are you guys reacting like that for? We've seen this. The Saints own them in the regular season. Brady can't pass against them. He
That's
throws
like-
way too many picks. Their offense looks hard against the Saints every time. Lattimore
Okay.
locks up Mike Evans.
One. Oh,
So
bro.
I'm gonna be unbelievably
4-0 in the last
generous
2
and say they
seasons.
go 5 and 1 in the division because
Fine,
there's
okay.
no chance they go 6 and 0.
That's
Zero
like giving a
in a
limb to them.
million years.
Jesus.
Impossible. So let's say
We'll
they went 5 and 1. Then they have to go 8 and 3 elsewhere against all the other teams in the league.
Yes, they do, and they will. So listen, 13 and 4. What are your division predictions? Throw it out there.
You can't even focus.
Oh, it's
I'm
fucked,
getting you
bro.
guys riled up. It's great.
I
My
forgot we were still on this, honestly.
My takes are getting you guys riled up. Jacob, divisional predictions.
Okay. So the Rams will host the Cowboys in my bracket, and I will have the Rams win.
All right.
And then I will have the Packers and the Bucks in a game that feels like it's just kind of destined to happen every year. And every year I say Rodgers is going to win, and every year I'm
He doesn't.
usually let down.
Yep.
But not this year. I'll take the Packers.
So I'm the only one. I'm the Packers fan here. Listen, I'm gonna just disclaimer because I think you guys all had the Packers making it to the divisional round, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because I had the Packers Bucks in the wild card. I'm the only one that has the Packers losing, and I want to preface this. I'm a Packers fan for those of you who don't know, and my whole philosophy here is I picked the Packers to win the Super Bowl the last 2 seasons. My philosophy is if I pick them to lose in the wild card round, hopefully I'll be wrong and they'll finally win some games while I say they're going to lose. But reverse psychology there. Hopefully it works. But Rams and Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game rematch of the divisional round, like I had said. I have the Rams getting back to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to beat the Bucs at home. I think the addition of Allen Robinson and guys like Bobby Wagner too. Those are massive upgrades at a linebacker position, which was the weakest for them on defense. And Allen Robinson will draw even more attention away from Cooper Kupp, which will, as opposite of what Peyton thinks, he will not have a recession. He won't have a recession, as much as we think. Obviously, he won't put up 1,900 yards again. I'm not saying he's going to have triple crown, but he's still going to be a phenomenal wide receiver, putting up like 1,500 receiving yards, in my opinion, at least. So Rams, Bills, Super Bowl matchup. That's what I have. Conor, what do you got?
Switching with you. The Bucs are at home and they beat the Rams. Go and
All right,
play
so you
the
got
Bills
the
in the
Bucs and
Super
the
Bowl.
Bills. You got
Yep.
Brady playing in what? It's like a 11th, 12th Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Peyton, what do you have? You have Bucs in there as well?
I have the Bucks and the Packers, and I'm with Jacob. I'm rolling with A-Rod this year. I think
Oh
it's
my
his
God,
year.
everybody's picking him except me this year. What the heck is happening?
That defense, baby. It's that defense.
Devontae leaves, and then we have the
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics, baby.
No more Devontae. Good defense, and number 4, AJ Dillon. Those are my
Dillon's
teams.
a
true.
monster. He's
That's
going to be the
that's a
power.
good
Yeah, he's a
point.
power. Their defense has the potential to be top 5. I will say that because of all the talent they have with Jair, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, etc. They could be
Honestly,
a top 5 defense.
The only guy that I feel like can stop them from going to the Super Bowl this year is LaFleur. If LaFleur
He
messes
stopped
up,
them. He stopped them in 2021.
Exactly. And I think it's the same this year, where I don't see how this team can lose, even with the wide receivers. I think honestly, with a guy like Rodgers, same with Mahomes, it's like as long as you have somebody out there that can run a decent 40 and has a good vertical and can make a play, like I don't think you need Devontae Adams to be a Super Bowl team. To be fair, I like Devontae Adams, but it's just not that big a deal to me.
As Stephen A. likes to say, Matt LaFleur, if LaFleur doesn't fuck it up for the Packers this year, then we'll hopefully get it. Jacob, what do you have?
Yeah, I think this is the third year in a row I've taken the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. I've been wrong the first 2 times, but
do it again.
I'm doing it again, and I think that a huge reason why this year I like it particularly is because I just don't.
Number
well,
one.
yeah, right.
Number one.
I just don't think that there is probably a team better suited to play in that game against the Rams than them, due to their defense and due to Aaron Rodgers' abilities. I know that he has not shined in the playoffs. We know
last
that
year he was terrible last year against the Niners. He was awful.
Niners defense played a hell of a game as well.
They did, but yeah. Jacob, continue.
One thing to play into it is now obviously he's seen the adversity at different levels. He's won back-to-back MVPs. Assuming that he doesn't get a record-setting third in a row, which we all would agree will not most likely happen.
No, I won't.
Hopefully, that could give him just the extra chip on the shoulder, because that's the kind of thing that a guy like that needs. And you kind of feel like the last 2 years, the regular season almost went too good for them. Now he's lost Devontae, and now he wants to prove to everyone, all right, Devontae isn't what made this team win. It's me. So I think that the chip on the shoulders with the adversity over the last few years, the horrific, embarrassing losses, I think it can accumulate into, just a driving force to make this the year.
That was
beautiful, you guys are giving me so much hope in my heart right now. You have no idea, because I don't really like for a Super Bowl appearance. I think they'll have a good regular season, 12-5. I don't know if they can make the Super Bowl. You guys are filling me up with so much, just like, amped up about the Packers this season, being like, yes, we're going to come in, Rodgers prove everybody wrong, but then we're going to go into playoffs and it goes.
Jacob, that was so articulate. I think what Jacob just said.
Incredible speech.
What Jacob just said sums up exactly why I feel like the Packers are going to do so well this year. Honestly, he couldn't.
I really hope you guys are right.
The hair on my arms is like sticking.
Yeah, I'm about to run through a wall. Actually,
if only Rodgers could watch this, maybe he'd get.
Oh my God! Yeah, if only Rodgers could see this, you can give him some motivation for this season. That's what I want. But I'm going to ask you now, though. You have Packers Bills in the Super Bowl, same as Peyton. I'm going to go to you first because you just gave your Packers prediction. Who do you have winning? Is Aaron Rodgers finally going to get his second Super Bowl, or will Josh Allen come in and knock the old guy off?
Well, I'll say this. In a career
Packers.
That's just seemed to have been ridden with heartbreak, I don't think it ends. And I think that they will lose to the Bills in that big game.
Oh, all right, that's tough. All right, Peyton, do you agree with them, or because you have the same matchup? Who do you have?
Yep, I agree. Same thing.
So I think we might all have the Bills winning here, unless Conor has Brady winning his 8th. But
I'm really feeling Josh Allen just on go mode this year.
Yes.
And in that big matchup, I think Rodgers is going to be a little bit too, flowy, a little bit too vibey, a little bit
too high on the DMT. He might be a little bit too high,
making those beautiful artistic passes. And Josh Allen's just going to be brutally running through the defense, just absolutely trucking forward, looking for that ring. I got to go with the Bills. I do.
Conor, Bucks, Bills. Is Brady getting his 8th? Please tell me he's not, because I just
Please tell me he is. That'd be awesome.
No, there's no way.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Hopefully first of many for number 17 this year.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think the Bills are going to beat the Rams. I have the Rams getting back, but I don't think they go back to back. We all have the Bills winning the Super Bowl, and guys, this
we're
was
definitely
not
wrong.
Scripted. We did, if we all picked them.
There's no way they win now.
Nope. We just cursed it.
We cursed it, but this was not planned. We had no discussion of this prior. We all picked the Bills, but I know we're joking that we kind of jinxed them, but I don't think it's that crazy. I feel like they're the favorites going in. They should be, and even if they don't get the 1 seed, which I don't think they will, Josh Allen, it just seems like after the last 2 times he's been in the playoffs, losing to Mahomes both times, it just feels like no matter who he plays this year, whether it's Burrow, Herbert, whoever, he is going to come in and just say, guys, I'm here. I'm the best quarterback in football. He's going to want to prove that and show us that he can lead his team to the Super Bowl, especially after losing Brian Dable, which is going to be another big thing. But I don't think we're going to be wrong. I know we might have cursed him, but I think we're honestly going to be right because a lot of the country is on our side. I feel like Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. We're gonna move on though. I want to go into our NFL award prediction. So we're gonna go like the smaller awards go go up from there. We'll start with coach of the year. The coach of the year. Now, because I have the Eagles going 13-4, of course, I'm gonna go with Nick Sirianni. I think that his job he's gonna do with the Eagles. Their head coach, Nick Sirianni, with the Who. Get out of here. So Nick Sirianni.
Never heard of him actually.
Nick Sirianni with the Eagles. I do genuinely think that he's going to win Coach of the Year because of how good I have the Eagles performing, and I do believe he'll be a huge part of that, of why they perform so well. He's going to lead them to their first NFC East championship since 2019, since they had Carson Wentz, and I genuinely do think Nick Sirianni will win Coach of the Year. Eagles will get a 2 seed. It's right there.
He's going to need a hell of a lot of schemes to make that game.
Bow.
Jacob, who do you have winning Coach of the Year, Jacob?
I had your boy from your what did you say, 16-1 Chargers or whatever.
15-2, buddy. Walk it back.
Oh wow,
15-2.
So different.
15-2.
Wow.
It might not be mathematically possible for all these teams to win this many games.
That's what I was
It is because I did it in that website I sent you. I did it in the NFL Predictor website.
You had 2 15-win teams and 2 13-win teams. I don't think that's ever happened.
And I had 2 14-win teams, Bengals and Bills.
That is not happening.
That might not be possible.
Dude, it is. Listen,
I don't think that.
After the show, I'll send you the screenshots.
I'm gonna need those next gen stats.
I'll show you the stats after the show. But Coach of the Year, you have Chargers.
So I had Brandon Staley of the Los Angeles Chargers. A few reasons why. He's technically in his second year, but he's only 39 years old. And 4 of the last 5 winners have been either first or second year coaches. So I think they really like the younger guys. That's number 1. 2, for them to go 13-4, which is what I have, that would be a 4-game jump from last year, which was 9-8. And if they win that division, which they have them doing, that would be probably the most impressive thing a team could do because that division is unreal. So I have Staley winning it.
Conor, who do you have winning Coach of the Year?
I have Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott taking it home this year. The Bills are going to go 13-4 and win the AFC East and hopefully win the Super Bowl.
Win the whole thing
as well. Yeah.
Peyton, who do you have?
I have Matt LaFleur. My favorite coach in the league. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
12-5, and I feel like their team is a little bit more set up to manage the clock, so hopefully they shouldn't lose games that they're really supposed to win. And if he can just do nothing and just let Aaron throw the ball like he does, then I think he'll win.
Listen, I love to see it. We all have different guys coming into this season winning Coach of the Year, and I think it's partly because we all have different records and different teams doing better than others, so that probably plays a role in it too. But Comeback Player of the Year, we're going to go to that one next. I have Michael Thomas winning Comeback Player of the Year. I think that we haven't seen him play since 2020, and because, again, I have the Saints going 13-4, I think he's going to do a great job coming back into that offense with Jameis, helping Winston out and really giving him another playmaker on the football field outside of Kamara and Marquez Callaway. Put up decent numbers, like nothing crazy. I expect him to come back and have over 1,000 receiving yards. I think that's probably going to happen. And then, having a decent amount of catches, maybe 7 or 8 touchdowns, I would say it's enough for Comeback Player of the Year, mainly because I don't see anybody else having an insane, crazy year on a good team that would warrant giving them that award. Jacob, who do you have for Comeback Player of the Year?
I think there's really 2 main options here, and it's either Thomas or McCaffrey since he got hurt
last year. I was between
the
same thing. Yeah.
And I took McCaffrey. I mean, if he could stay healthy, every time he's been healthy, he's been a top back in the league. You could even debate that he was first his last full season when he had the 1,000 and 1,000. And I think that the main thing too is it's just whichever guy wins the job in Carolina, either of them are going to rely on him with their lives to make them at least a reputable
100%.
team
for
multitude of reasons. So I had McCaffrey.
Conor, who'd you have?
I'm going with Christian McCaffrey as well. Like Jacob said, just him staying healthy is so important for that team. I don't think the Panthers are going to be good regardless, but just him being there on the team as a leader, as a veteran, is just really going to be important for them. And obviously, he's one of the top backs in the league. So.
Yeah, definitely. Peyton, who do you have?
I had Saquon Barkley. I think a lot of people.
Boy, let's go.
I don't. We're all talking about McCaffrey right now. What about my guy Saquon? I think O-line got better. I think he's going to get a lot of usage. His foot, he's been in and out with injuries, obviously lingering. So I think he's healthy. I think he's back. I think he's big. He's in a contract year. So he's going to have to run all over the place for them to win to begin with. Again, with DJ in there, and I like Tony. I like their offense a lot better than I like the Jets, which all of you seem to think are going to be fantastic this year. But yeah, I'm with Saquon Barkley. I honestly think Saquon Barkley could have over, I don't want to get crazy, 1,200 rushing yards, maybe 500-600 receiving yards, 10+ touchdowns. I mean, if that's not comeback player of the year, then I don't know what is. I mean, I still think he's a top. I still think
that was some big numbers there, bro.
I mean, if we're gonna go talent wise, I think he's more talented than McCaffrey. Personally, I do because McCaffrey's numbers came from pure usage. Their offense was dead, and granted, they got him the ball 30 to 40. Yeah, and again,
it's a good point, but I mean, you have to still be able to produce when you're being used that much.
I don't think the Giants are that bad, and I don't think Daniel
I have them
Jones,
being 8 and 9. They're going to be decent,
I have them at 9 and 8. I don't. And how are they?
That's better than I have them.
How are they? Whatever.
9 and 8's huge.
I have them at 8. I have them a game less.
I don't think they're going to win more games than they lose this year, guys.
You don't
think?
So?
I have them at a losing. What
gives you utter confidence?
Conor said 5-12. Why do you ask Conor? He's the Giants.
5-12. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Listen, I think that they're going to be in a lot of games, a lot of close games. I think that Dable's going to do well with Daniel Jones, but I mean, their defense is not that great. And Kenny Golladay didn't catch a touchdown last year. Kadarius Toney didn't catch a touchdown last year. I know I'm talking about it all last year.
Yeah, I know. But it's because Jason Garrett was the offensive.
He makes fair points. But for me, the ship has to turn around at some point.
It does.
And again, for Saquon in a contract,
I think it all starts with Saquon. Honestly.
Exactly. So if he has over 1,400 rushing yards, 600 receiving yards, and 10+ touchdowns, which I really think he has a chance at, and he becomes a top 3 guy again, that puts them back on the map in that division. And I really think it gives them a chance. Again, Toney is extremely underrated. I get he didn't have a touchdown, but KT is one of the best young receivers in terms of creating separation in the league. And it's not even close. If you watch film on the guy, he's a monster. Golladay, huge vertical, can get up. I have some faith. And again, I really don't think DJ's that bad. And with Dable there, I think it gives them a lot more stability.
They need to give Jones, just like let him like go loose. Just like have him throw it down the field. He's got a good arm.
Exactly. They have nothing else to lose because whatever they've been doing hasn't been working. And Conor, the point I wanted to make, part of the reason they didn't utilize Golladay, they had the worst, most archaic play calling systems offense last year. Garrett was atrocious.
It was awful.
This season, with Wink Martindale as the DC, you have Brian Dable in here now. I really think they're going to turn it around a little bit.
Me too.
Peyton, you were saying, I have the Jets amazing. I have the Giants being better than the Jets.
Me too.
I think the Jets,
that's where, I don't understand
I'm saying,
I'm on your page with that. Like, don't get that at all.
But I think besides okay, fine. No, go ahead. There's no reason to talk about the Jets and the Giants.
All right. So we'll go defensive rookie of the year up next. I have Aiden Hutchinson. I think he should have been the clear-cut number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I was shocked when Jacksonville took Trayvon Walker. I'm not saying Walker's not talented, but Hutchinson to me was just a different level of skill in college at Michigan. The footwork he possesses, his ability to have an inside move and get inside pass rushers, beat tackles on the outside. I think he has a quick first step, a great motor. He's just a talented defensive end. He reminds me a little bit of a Joey and Nick Bosa. He has that kind of motor and energetic play style. I think he's going to be not even clear cut because there are guys like Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley and Kyle Hamilton even, but I just think for corners in a rookie season, it's hard to win a defensive rookie of the year because you can see if they don't get a lot of interceptions like Trayvon Diggs, they're not gonna be noticed over somebody like Aiden Hutchinson who gets maybe like 7 to 10 sacks, if you know what I'm saying. So I feel like it's more feasible for a defensive end to win it. So I'll pick Aiden Hutchinson. Conor, who do you have?
I'm sticking with Big Blue. I'm going Kayvon Thibodeau.
That's honestly a good pick. Yeah,
I think he's going to have double-digit sacks in his first year. He's really going to feed off of Wink's defense, and I think he's going to be the anchor on the Giants' pass rush.
So their defense isn't going to be that
right.
Their defense isn't going to be that good, but he's going to have 12 sacks. I mean, are you?
No, I know.
One player.
That's one player.
That's a big player, man. Come on now.
Yeah, Micah was a big. Yeah, all right.
And look what happened to Look what happened to Dallas's defense last year.
That's true.
I'm just saying, if he's going to win DPOY, they're going to be pretty good.
The Giants secondary is not
D-Roy,
that good.
sorry, D-Roy, my bad.
Yeah. Conor, he was the fifth overall pick, right? Or was it 7th?
Fifth.
It was 5th. Peyton, who do you have winning defensive rookie of the year?
I have Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame because he's a monster, 6'5", massive wingspan, and he can blitz like a monster. I got a little inside source information from a receiver that played at Notre Dame. He said this
Ooh.
kid is an absolute ball hawk. He said he can play. He said he looks like he could play linebacker the way he blitzes from safety, and just his utter speed is scary. He said he goes sideline to sideline like no one he's ever seen. I don't know. A safety from the Ravens. There's never been a safety to win D-Roy ever, I think, and I don't know. I just feel like it might be the time. Kyle Hamilton, especially next to Marlon Humphrey with John Harbaugh there. I feel
and Marcus Williams they picked up from the Saints too.
It's like I think it's a perfect storm scenario for him to just like play purely off instinct, which I think honestly, when it comes down to D-Roy, like defensive rookie of the year and offensive rookie of the year, it's mostly all instinctual because they're coming out of college and they're so fresh and they're adapting to a new speed. I feel like a lot of the best guys, it's all just pure instinct. So that's why I went with Kyle Hamilton.
Maybe an Ed Reed part 2 kind of player there.
That's was my head was in that spot, Tino.
Jacob, who do you have for defensive rookie of the year?
I had the same as you. I had Hutchinson. I think his physical abilities and his IQ are just off the charts. I don't think usually you have both at that level at that age. And I think just something simple, which is pretty cool, is he's been in Michigan his entire life and he's not leaving. So comfortability,
crazy.
Comfortability wise, he should feel. I mean, he could literally live at home if he wanted to. So I think that plays a factor a lot for 20, 21-year-old guys that, maybe, for example, if you had a New York kid going to LA or something like that, it might be tough, but he's staying right at home. And I think intangible wise, it's all there. So,
yeah. We'll move on to offensive rookie of the year. I'm going to give mine first. I'm going to come out with a bold take here. I have Christian Watson from the Packers winning offensive rookie of the year. I know there's a lot of talented guys. You can go with James Cook, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. Talk about the guy from the Titans, Traylon Burks. There's a ton of different guys. I'm going to go with Christian Watson because when the Packers took him in the second round, there were a lot of reports saying, oh, he's unpolished. He's not that great. He doesn't have an extensive route tree, all these different things. From hearing reports, and reading up on how the Packers feel about him in training camp, how Aaron Rodgers feels about him in training camp, Rodgers saying that he went on an interview and he said that, saying that I would be impressed is an understatement. Rodgers loves the way Watson has been performing in training camp. The Packers love his physical ability. Actually, the route running aspect, which a lot of reporters were saying it wasn't very extensive. The Packers, based on what I was reading, have been saying during training camp, he's been showing them the ability to be able to run a lot of different routes and run them well and, show a lot of potential going into next season. So I'm going to go with the outside bold take. I think he might win offensive rookie of the year. Rodgers will utilize him a lot more because Adams is no longer there, even with the run game being utilized a lot. But I'm going to go with Christian Watson for offensive rookie of the year. Conor, what do you got?
This may come as a surprise to you guys. Talking about another guy who's comfortable and who might be in one of the best positions in the NFL with just like being drafted wise. I'm going Kenny Pickett, offensive rookie of the year.
Really?
Yes.
That's even harder than Christian Watson, in my opinion.
Might be, but listen, he played in Pittsburgh. He played at University of Pittsburgh. He's with the Steelers. I think that him and Mike Tomlin are obviously going to be like this. Tomlin is one of the best head coaches of all time. Never had a losing season. I think he's got him in a great system. And their defense is going to help them out. The offense, they have some really good weapons with Najee, Deontay Johnson staying there. And I just think Kenny's going to have a great season. And I don't think the Steelers are going to make the playoffs, but he's going to have a really great season with that offense.
Yeah, the only thing with him is there's a chance he might not even start because of Mitchell.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so he might not even – but again, that's why it's a bold take. Peyton, who do you have for offensive rookie of the year?
I have Drake London of the Atlanta Falcons. I know
Marcus you were going to say that. I
know because he's the most skilled receiver in the draft by far, and it's not even close. And you know what else? Atlanta's defense sucks. They are so bad, and they're going to let up so many points that they're going to have to chuck the ball. And this kid's stats are going to be so much better than any other offensive receiver, rookie receiver this year. It's not even going to be close. It's got to be for me. I like Burks talent-wise. I love Sky Moore. I don't mind Watson. I don't mind Olave, but because of the fact that they're in Atlanta and they're going to let up a bunch of points and Mariota's going to have to chuck the ball, and they have Pitts there, so you can't really double him. He is 6'4", and again, wicked skill for the position. I just think he's the best offensive rookie this year by far, and I don't think it's close.
Jacob, what do you have?
I finally get a chance to rep OH. I took Olave, though. I really wanted Garrett Wilson. I really wanted Wilson, but I think the Jets have a little too many young guys there to spread between Moore and Davis and everyone else. So I think Chris Olave has the best hands out of any receiver in the draft. I think that he can play in massive moments as he has throughout his college career. I think he's more quick than people give him credit for. And I can definitely see him fitting into the way that Winston and the Saints are going to want to play. And I don't know about you guys, but he looks perfect as a Saint. Just looks like he fits in really well. So
he does, and he's one of the reasons why they'll go 13-4 with a 3 seed. Moving on to defensive player of the year, I have T.J. Watt doing the same thing his brother did a few seasons back, winning back-to-back defensive player of the years. I think there's a chance for him to win 3 and 4 years the same way J.J. did, because this guy is just super dominant. I'll list out the stats he had last year, which I don't even really need to, because you just watch him play and you see how dominant he is. But 7 pass deflections, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 22.5 sacks, and 21 tackles for loss. He's incredible. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. I think he's going to get it back to back. Guys I was debating with, Myles Garrett was in there for the discussion, but I just don't think that TJ Watt's going to lose it. I think it's his to lose, and I don't think he will. Who do you have? Conor.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on your back there, Tino, and join the TJ Watt train over there with you. He's just an unbelievable force and just one of the great defensive players in the league today. So it's just a clear choice that he's probably going to win the award.
Peyton, you on the train?
Nope.
Who do you have?
Nick Bosa, because he's going to have to.
That's honestly.
Hello.
I guess Jacob has the same one, but it's
Come
not
on.
a bad pick. I'm not.
The reason why, not because he's a Bosa, not because he's Watt's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to disrespect Watt. I don't want to disrespect Garrett, but I love me some Nick Bosa, and I think he's going to have to dig Trey Lance out of a couple of holes this year to get them to the playoffs, like Jacob thinks that they're going to be. So I don't have them going to the playoffs, but again, I think
I have him going to the playoffs as well, partly because of Bosa.
He's going to be massive.
I love him.
He's the most important piece on that team by far.
100%.
Not Debo.
We saw that after coming off the injury. He was
exactly.
He's
exactly. And I don't care. They have a good offense. Again, it's all on Trey Lance's shoulders to keep the ball in his hands. And if he can't, the only guy that's going to stop that bleeding is Nick Bosa.
Jacob, what do you have? You have Nick Bosa as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to it, I think the other really good thing about Bosa and the situations he's the situation that he is in is that they have other guys on that defense to take the pressure off. You know,
Right.
they don't have the ability to stack up on him all game long because they got to worry about other guys. They got to worry about what's that guy, Kinlaw too, on the other side.
Javon Kinlaw, yeah.
Or isn't it? I thought it was Kinley. Sorry.
No, Javon Kinlaw. Yeah, Kinlaw.
Yeah, so they have other guys around there, and they have a good enough team that I think he's going to be able to get upwards of. I think he can get around 20. I think he get like 18, 19.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's one of the best top 4, top 3 in my opinion edge rushers in the NFL. So I wouldn't be shocked. I just think TJ's a different kind of monster. Offensive player of the year though, I have Jamar Chase. I think last year the numbers that he put up on the lack of targets that he had and lack of catches as well. I'm not going to say lack, but like just less than a lot of other guys. He only had 81 catches last year, had 1,455 receiving yards, 13 touchdowns. I think he's going to drop the ball a lot less this year, convert more touchdowns and more receptions than he had last year. And I just think with the connection he has with Burrow, I could see him putting up Cooper Kupp numbers, like how Peyton was saying, Chase and Jefferson and Kupp in for a recession. Chase, I think, is in for a shooting up there. He's going to be close to 1,800, 1,900 yards. I could see him putting up 15 touchdowns. Like I could see Jamar Chase having a legendary season and winning Offensive Player of the Year. Conor, what do you have?
Interesting. Breakout season last year. I'm going Jonathan Taylor for Offensive Player of the Year. You know,
Come on.
I think him feeding off of Matt Ryan and him being a veteran quarterback and his leadership is going to be really important for a young team, and that's those two are going to lead them to a division title.
I'm with Tino. I got Jamar Chase. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Jonathan Taylor guy. You know, I love Jonathan Taylor, but I don't see him repeating the numbers he had last year, but I appreciate that take. I'm with Tino. I think Jamar Chase is to the moon. On the amount of receptions he had last year to put up the numbers he did is just crazy to me. And again, his connection with Burrow is second to none. I think that they're going to connect even more than they did last year. And if they do, then he should have upwards of 1,600 yards. I don't know if I would say 1,900 yards. It's a lot, but I could see him hovering around 1,700 yards, 15 touchdowns, and probably the best receiver in the league this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, so we got 2 and 2. I had Taylor. I mean, I think that the reliance on him from his team is immense. And I mean, what better for aging Matt Ryan than to have a young buck, JT, John Taylor in there? I mean, I just think the fit is perfect. I think they can stick to their identity. I think it's going to work enough to win them that division, which is obviously probably the worst division in football by far now.
Yep.
But I think it'll be enough to get him the award.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with the Jonathan Taylor pick. I mean, I was kind of debating between Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor the same way. I just think Jamar is going to have one of those crazy years. But moving on to MVP, the big award, the kahuna of them all, I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. I think Herbert's going to get the MVP this year. Last season, he had 5,014 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. I look at the way Herbert plays the game, and I think that almost in like the storyline aspect, this is going to play into why Josh Allen and the Bills are going to knock them off on the road in the AFC Championship game, because you're going to see Josh Allen kind of get the MVP stripped away. I think it'll be between those two guys, Allen and Herbert. I think Herbert will get him by a little bit, and I think that'll be almost like extra motivation for Josh Allen to go into LA in the AFC Championship game and knock them off. But I have Herbert winning the MVP. Conor, what do you have?
Not only is he going to win his first Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP, Josh Allen is going to win regular season MVP and just have an unbelievable season. I can't wait to watch him.
It's not a crazy pick at all. I think it's probably the likely scenario that happens. But Peyton, what do you have?
I got Tom Brady as my MVP.
Nice.
You're lying. Are you serious?
I like it.
I mean,
I like it a lot.
Godwin, Jones, Evans. I don't think they're ever going to run the ball ever. I don't think they need to ever run the ball at all.
They really don't.
I mean, they could. We'll run the clock out with Lenny. That's no problem. But realistically, this dude is going to chuck the ball. Julio Jones is going to be a monster. I can't believe that everybody thinks it's such a small addition when it's Julio Jones with Tom Brady. Do we not remember what it was? 37-year-old Randy Moss did with Tom Brady after he was in the graveyard with the Raiders and the Niners, posting less than 900 yards. I think it was less than 600 yards receiving 2 years in a row, and then he comes out and has the best receiving year of his career at 37. And you're telling me Julio, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin all lined up. You're talking about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts being this tandem of unfathomable proportions. But the best receiver, no doubt the best receiver of the past 10 years in Julio Jones, playing with the best quarterback of all time on a team with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
The greatest. But continue.
Come on now. MVP, man. MVP,
all right,
baby.
We'll see.
Let's get another.
He should have gotten it last year, honestly.
Exactly.
Based on his stats,
so tell me now, if Brady doesn't get it last year and he was supposed to, you think he's not going to come in with a little bit of that chip on his shoulder like he always has? Maybe throw a couple extra.
He'll come in with a chip, but it's not going to be enough to beat out either Herbert or Josh Allen. Jacob, what do you have?
I think Allen and Brady will battle, but I think Allen will win.
I like that. I agree.
So I'm the only one going for Herbert.
I don't agree. But I agree.
Yeah, I would say you don't agree.
I don't agree, but I agree.
He doesn't agree with the pick, but he agrees with the logic and the reasoning behind the pick. But yeah, so those are our award predictions. Again, way too early. It's going to be hard to kind of predict what's going to happen right now, obviously, but we'll move on. We're going to go to our top 5 rookies in no particular order, just giving who we think will be the 5 best rookies on defense and offense. I'll go first. I'll give my 5 rookies on offense. I did rank them, but I'll give them in no particular order. Starting out, I'll say Garrett Wilson. I do genuinely think on the Jets, him and Chris Olave, in my opinion, are the 2 best receivers from this draft. I know Peyton's high on Drake London out of USC, but I just think that the 2 Ohio State boys, go Buckeyes over there for Jacob. I just think that Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave both are on my list. They're going to be great receivers in the NFL this year. Another guy I have is James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother coming out of Georgia. James Cook is, I think he's probably going to come into the league and be one of the most versatile running backs in the NFL. He has great hands. His route tree is extensive. He reminds me of McCaffrey a little bit, the way that he can run routes in the slot and on the outside as well. His running ability in between the tackles isn't phenomenal, but it's good enough because he does have a lot of power in the receiving game. So his run game doesn't have to be that dominant, but he's going to be a force with the Bills. Mark my words. Next one, Evan Neal for the Giants. I have him as one of my top 2 guys. I think that was a phenomenal pick by them at number 7. He's the best tackle for the draft class this year, coming out of Alabama. He's a freak in nature. He's phenomenal. He's going to fix what is really kind of has been a lackluster offensive line for a long time. Evan Neal's going to be dominant. And, of course, my offensive rookie of the year, Christian Watson's got to be in there. So, Conor, who do you have?
All right. Well, my offensive rookie of the year, Mr. Kenny Pickett, who will be the starting quarterback, by the way, mark my words.
Okay.
Garrett Wilson with the New York Jets. Jacob, I know you're excited about him. Chris Olave, I know, has been mentioned. Breece Hall, also with the Jets. Very sneaky, dude. He's going to be a stud.
You got Breece Hall, all right.
Yes, Breece Hall and Evan Neal as well. He's going to be a monster with Andrew Thomas on the Giants O-line.
So you
Jets
swapped
got
out
some young dogs, man.
No, they really
For real.
Peyton,
A
what are your
lot
guys?
of young dogs, bro.
I know.
I don't have Evan Neal on my list because I wasn't really thinking about linemen, but he would definitely be on my list just to say that to start. I have Treylon Burks because who the hell else is Ryan Tannehill going to throw to? Drake London, he's my offensive rookie of the year. Already explained why. Sky Moore because he's got absolute burners and he's playing with Patrick Mahomes. I love me some Sky Moore. James Cook for the same reasons you said. I don't necessarily see a comp to McCaffrey. I see more Aaron Jones, but I guess they're kind of one in the same token.
I'm just saying in terms of the route running ability.
Exactly.
That's
So
why I look at
we can agree on that.
Yeah.
And then my number 5, Conor loves Kenny Pickett. I love me some George Pickens, and I know he didn't play a lot last year.
That's a phenomenal pick.
George Pickens is a dog. He is such a dog.
I struggle to leave him.
I struggle to leave him
off, dude. I was so close to putting him on.
That's all. If we agree, I don't got to say much. Everybody knows. A lot of people will say because he didn't play many games last year and he hasn't played in a while, it's going to be a big. Jamar Chase didn't play any games, college games before he started, and look how that went. That's all I'm going to say. And I honestly like the Kenny Pickett pick as well. Kenny Pickett pick, and George Pickens. Pickens and Pickett. It just sounds like a great tandem. You know what I'm saying?
Jacob, real quick.
I know what you're saying.
No Olave or Wilson for you?
He likes Drake London better than both of those. He already said it.
I like NFL. I like big NFL players on big NFL teams. I don't like the Jets or really the Saints. I don't really care about Ohio State.
Shush.
At all.
Jacob, give us your.
You're
top
talking
five
about the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I'm talking about Marcus Mariota, man. I trust Mariota over Jameis Winston.
Dude, they're going to be worse than both of those teams.
Yes, but that was half of my point. Was their defense sucks? They're going to have to chuck the ball. So that's the whole point.
Peyton, I get what your point was.
Olave, Neal, Wilson, Pickett, and Watson.
All right, not a bad selection at all. Going to defense. Obviously, my defensive rookie of the year, Aiden Hutchinson's going to be in there. I have Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner for the Jets. He's the best corner in this draft. I was shocked that he was even there for the Jets, that Derek Stingley was taking over him. So surprising.
Too.
I was shocked, but, obviously Jacob was happy he was there. I got Trayvon Walker, the number 1 pick. He has to be there. I don't think he should have been the number 1 pick, but he is very versatile, and I want to throw out the stat for you guys. He lined up at defensive end 298 times, defensive tackle 184 times, and linebacker 93 times in 2021. So he's very versatile, can play all over the field, which will be interesting to see how Jacksonville uses that. So I think he has to be up there. Jordan Davis for the Eagles, he was a phenomenal pick. That defensive tackle, he is the biggest. We're talking about Greek freak like Giannis. He is the biggest freak in nature ever. The speed on this guy at like almost 400 pounds makes no sense. So Jordan Davis is definitely on the list. And then Peyton's defensive rookie of the year, Kyle Hamilton. Absolutely love the guy. I think he's Ed Reed 2.0. Phenomenal safety for the Ravens, but those are my 5. Jacob, who do you have?
I had Hutchinson, Sauce, Thibodeau, Hamilton, and Walker.
Not bad. So we replaced Jordan Davis and Thibodeau. But Conor, who do you got?
I got Thibodeau, Hutchinson, Hamilton, Sauce, and George Karlaftis with the Kansas City Chiefs.
You left Trey. The number 1 pick doesn't make your list, huh?
I don't have him on my list either,
Not today.
Boy. Nope.
Damn, all right. Let's see, Peyton. What do you have?
I have Hamilton, Karlaftis, Thibodeau, Hutchinson, and Sauce. Same as Conor.
All right, you guys have the same list. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the whole thing, none of us had Derek Stingley on the list either. I want to ask real quick, what do we think of him for the Texans? Is he better than Sauce Gardner? What do you guys think? Conor, you can go, but.
No, I really just don't think so. I think that Sauce can just lock people up so much. I wouldn't say so much better than him, but just like at more of a sort of like elite rate than he can. Honestly, that's really just my opinion.
I think from watching, we can all see that.
Especially just like hand to hand. Like, he's so much more better.
He's stronger.
I was just going to say in the press.
He presses you right off the line of scrimmage.
Exactly. He just has more strength as a rookie.
Right.
And then he's
Stingley
not
does.
getting beat. He's not going to get beat either.
I will say though, Stingley has more potential to be better than Sauce in the long term, but this year Sauce will
Possibly.
outplay him. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Last thing, we have like 30 seconds. The one thing I want to say, I know we're not going to get to all of us, but I want to bring up just coaches under pressure. The one guy I want to say, Cliff Kingsbury. I have the Cardinals going 5-12. Cliff Kingsbury is under the most pressure of any head coach in the NFL this season. Just want to put that out there. But guys, this was our first live show. I think it went really well. We have officially joined the Sideline Sports family. Follow us on Twitter at @TCHT_podcast. Same thing on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok at @TCHT_podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Thank you.